Okay, now one of the people that Carl James spoke about is Bill Casing. I think Bill Casing is probably the first person to suggest that Stanley Kubrick might have been involved. Bill Casing was a technical author. He worked on various technologies that NASA used, so he had a good knowledge of the space industry, and he wrote a book called We Never Went to the Moon. We spoke about this book on the program. Now, after this program aired, I got an email from somebody with some new information, and I asked Carl James, I sent him the information, I said, did you know about this? He said, no, I didn't know that. Andrew Johnson didn't know either. So I'm going to give you this information, share it with you today, which was as a result of putting this out on the internet. It's an Italian researcher. Now, just before I go on to that, how many of you are familiar with this film, Capricorn 1? Yeah? Now, let me just fill you in on the plot first. This film is set in the near future, and it's about a manned mission to Mars. So in the film, we've got the rocket on the launch pad, and we've got the sort of vice president is there watching, getting it ready to take off. And just before the rocket takes off, someone pulls the astronauts out of the rocket, sticks them on a plane, and they get taken to a secret hangar. And then they're taken out of the plane, and in the hangar is this Mars set, right? So the guy in the suit there who works for NASA, he says, look, guys, he says, if we put you in that rocket to Mars, you would not come back alive. Our technology is nowhere near ready enough. But we don't want to say that to the public. We don't want even to say that to Congress. Because if we admit that we cannot do this mission, it's going to affect all future space missions. We're going to get our funding pulled. So what we're going to do, we're going to fool everyone. We're going to fake this one mission to Mars, and then our funding will continue after that, right? So the NASA guy there in the suit says to the astronauts, I want you to put your spacesuits on and prance around this film set, and we're going to fake the mission. And the astronauts are standing there saying, no effing way, all right? So the NASA guy turns to them and says, right, well, if you don't, we're going to kill your families, right? That's the plot of a Hollywood film called Capricorn 1. So this is a film which is suggesting that an agency of the US government would threaten its own employees by getting their families murdered, okay? Now that is extremely unusual for Hollywood. Normally, films about space or films which feature military hardware are always pro-US. US always come out like whiter than white. So this is extremely unusual to say that an American agency would actually fake a mission to Mars. So what's going on here? And I think I've found the answer to this, because I was contacted by researcher Albino Gallipini, this Italian guy, and he is writing an autobiography of Bill Casing, the guy who first suggested that Kubrick faked the moon landings. This is what he wrote to me. He said that in 1977, that's the year before Capricorn 1 was made, Ruth and Bill Casing bought a caravan in Las Vegas for the sole purpose of being a mobile office for developing a screenplay inspired by the book We Never Went to the Moon. For this purpose, the Eden Press, which had published the first edition of the text, hired screenwriter Ken Rotkop, entrusting him with the task. They all worked hard, assisted by Bill Butters, who felt certain of being able to be funded in the project by Sir Lou Grade, a famous Ukrainian-born, London-based film producer. So Bill Casing had got a screenplay ready, which was almost identical to Capricorn 1, but it was going to be about a faked mission to the moon, and it was going to tell the alleged true story, exposing the whole lie about the moon missions. That's what the film was going to be about. But in that precise period, producer Paul Lazarus with director Peter Hyams produced a movie whose plot traced in a stunning way their screenplay, with the only expedient difference that the simulation of space travel took place on Mars instead of the moon. Hyams' film was titled Capricorn 1. So Bill Casing found out about this, and he decided to sue the people who made Capricorn 1 because they'd stolen his script and made one key difference, that it was a fake mission to Mars. And by making that one key difference, they're fictionalizing the whole film, turning it from a factual film into a fictional film. So the writer filed a lawsuit against Universal Films and Peter Hyams unsuccessfully at a court in Beverly Hills for copyright infringement. According to the thesis proposed by his lawyer, the script was largely borrowed from the book On the Lunar Plot, and identified 16 elements in the film that violated copyright. A private investigator hired by the legal office in support of the suit made a shocking discovery. In Washington, someone in connection with the script had falsified the date of filing for copyright in the office in charge. The lawyer, impressed by the fact, gave the mandate, saying, "Bill, I have a wife and 2 boys. I do not want to clash with people so powerful as to be able to alter the filing date at a patent office." Right? So according to this, what they've done, they've nicked Bill Casing's script, they've changed part of it to say, right, it's a fake mission to Mars. They've filed the copyright of that script, and they've falsified the date so it predates Bill Casing's script, and then they've made the film. And that prevents him from ever making that film exposing the alleged truth about the moon landings. All right? Because if he did make his film, they could say, well, our film came out first, so you are breaching our copyright. All right?